How can a nation that historically built empires with gold-sheathed temples and produced some of the greatest Islamic scholars on earth now be facing the largest humanitarian catastrophe in the world? This is the tragedy of Sudan. To murder approximately 150,000 innocent people and displace over 13 million, this is the cruelty we see today. The conflict raging between the Sudanese armed forces, the SAF, and the Rapid Support Forces, the RSF, is not a simple internal power struggle. It is a war fueled by corrupt generals and wealthy international powers, resulting in widespread systematic war crimes and the deliberate use of famine as a weapon. This is fundamentally a catastrophe of betrayal and foreign exploitation. But why is Sudan collapsing like this? And who is truly responsible for allowing systematic atrocities to occur? To truly understand this ongoing collapse, we must investigate Sudan's magnitudinal history. This land was originally a network of powerful kingdoms, known for creating great civilizations and wealth, even facilitating an Islamic scholarly enlightenment period. It brought forth some of the earliest examples of federalism in the Funj Sultanate, unmatched imperial powers like the Second Kingdom of Kush, and established commercial trading paradises like in the Kingdom of Sana'a. Scholars like Ata ibn Abi Rabah, the first Mufti of Mecca and teacher of Imam Abu Hanifa, and Yazid ibn Abi Habbab, the scholar responsible for the revival of fiqh in Egypt, sprung forth from Sudan's blessed scholarly people. That glory was brought to its knees by colonialism. Britain occupied and colonized Sudan in 1899, masterfully employing the weapon of divide and conquer using the infamous Southern policy to carve the country in two and entrench developmental inequity, leading to two massive civil wars. The post-colonial era offered no peace. Dictator Omar al-Bashir deliberately created the two military monsters fighting today, the SAF led by Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and the RSF led by Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, or Hemeti. Hemeti's Janjaweed militia was compensated for committing genocide in Darfur with access to the region's lucrative gold mines. The intense struggle persists because Sudan is the strategic heart of Africa. It is the 16th largest global gold producer, and its Red Sea location controls a vital maritime trade pathway worth an estimated $1 trillion annually. Regional powers are now the primary drivers of the chaos. The UAE's role has been crucial, specifically in aiding the RSF with weaponry, all to stock up on more gold in their reserves. Regional powers, including Saudi Arabia and the UAE, prioritize economic control and general dominance in the Middle East. Other actors, such as Egypt, support the SAF for Nile water interests, whilst China and Russia further inject weapons and fuel the chaos for their own economic agendas. The war is fundamentally a proxy struggle. The generals are merely puppets obsessed with foreign wealth, power and geopolitics. And on that note, we ask, how can the Sudanese people take back control of their own destiny? The suffering in Sudan will not end as long as its leaders and political parties function as mere agents of colonial powers, implementing what the West and what Middle Eastern powers dictate and caring only for wealth. The popular framework, such as the Framework Agreement, which mandates a secular democratic system, has only brought mass poverty, corruption, and the death of hundreds of thousands. The solution requires a fundamental rejection of all sides of this colonial-driven conflict and the foreign interference that fuels it. Sudan must reclaim its independence and ethics, restoring the values that defined its historic strength. This solution is thoughtful, refined, and demands structural change. Firstly, the rule of the generals must end. Power cannot belong to men who build empires on famine. The military tradition of operating solely in foreign interests must cease. Both the army and the RSF must be stripped of all political and economic power. Authority must be immediately returned to civilian councils, scholars, and local communities whose legitimacy rises directly from the people, not from guns or foreign backing. Secondly, justice must follow. This is non-negotiable. Every grave in Darfur, every mass killing in Janina and Al-Fashir must be named and tried. Accountability must address not just the atrocities committed by the RSF, but also the prior crimes of al-Bashir's regime, which laid the foundation for today's violence. Crucially, this accountability must be born from Sudanese soil, rooted in the core Islamic values of justice, mercy, and amana, the sacred trust of leadership. This domestic focus on truth and reconciliation is the only pathway to lasting stability. Thirdly, economic wealth must serve the people. Sudan is immensely rich in oil, gold, and minerals. This wealth, which currently funds destruction and serves foreign interests, such as the gold accessed by the UAE to stock their reserves, must instead feed Sudan, fund education, and restore its ethical institutions. The youth of 2019 proved the spirit of unity still breathes. Rebuilding Sudan depends on restoring faith in its own leadership and rejecting the false promise of Western systems that have only brought chaos and division. Division first entrenched by the British Southern policy. Sudan must rise again, not as a pawn controlled by external powers fighting over its $1 trillion maritime pathway, but as a sovereign state guided by justice, mercy, and truth.